All right, so we're feeling our feet, working on standing tall, pulling up through our trunk. And I just want you to check in. Are you more on the right, more on the left? Are you forward, or are you back on your heels? If it feels helpful, fingertips on a chair or the wall, and you can close your eyes, which can sometimes help just, bring that sensation of where you are even more. And then from here, let's work on, we're just going to weight shift to the right, and you're going to weight shift over so you're lifting your foot up. You're rolling through your feet. As you're doing this, you're standing tall. And then let's bring it in. We're going to tighten it. So now rather than lifting, you're just lifting your heel. And now let's ground our feet. And we're just moving through our legs. And let's find center. And from here, now let's work on coming forward. So we're going to start large and then fine tune. So up on your heels and toes. If you need to, you can hold on. And so just think we're working on warming up our feet, warming up our ankles. As you're moving, you're rolling through your feet, working on spreading out your toes. And now let's tighten it a little. So you're just lifting right off the ground, your toes and your heels. So not a huge movement. We're tightening things up. And if you can, as we tighten, if you were holding onto a chair, try to go maybe from a couple fingertips to one fingertip, or from one fingertip to just hovering. And then let's keep your feet grounded, and we're just going to work on weight shifting forward and back. And so your toes may come up, they may curl under. And then let's find center. And again, checking in. Are you more on the right, the left, the middle part of your foot? And let's grab our tennis ball. And we're going to wake up our feet. We're going to first just work on rolling from our heel to our first toe. So just giving some nice input to your arch. And now let's go towards our second toe. And our third toe. And now let's work towards the outside part of our foot. And then let's work our way back to the arch. So hopefully that feels like a good foot massage. Getting your foot warmed up. And then let's switch feet. So with your other foot, working on rolling at the arch, going from your heel to your first toe. And you have control over how much pressure. So the more weight or downward force you're putting through your foot, the more pressure you're going to get. Let's move to the second toe. And the third toe. And the fourth toe. So you're working your way all the way out to the outside part of your foot. And then working your way back to the arch. And then when you're ready, we'll pick up our tennis ball, put it off to the side so it doesn't roll away. We're going to circle back to our tennis ball in a little bit. So from here, we've talked about how your foot has 4 points, 2 at the ball of your foot, 2 at your heel. So we're going to picture keeping those 4 points on the ground, and we're just going to work on lifting our toe up and then relaxing down. So it's like your toes are waving. You can do this both feet together, or if that feels challenging, you can do one foot and then the other. And sometimes if you're having a hard time talking to your feet, actually doing the motion with your hand can be helpful, because where your hand and your feet are in terms of the brain and where you come up with a motor plan are similar. And so sometimes by adding in your hand, it strengthens that signal to your feet. And it's so important for us to warm up our toes because they really do help with our reactive balance. Okay, let's do one more. And come back to center, get grounded. And from here, we're going to work on lifting the arch of our feet and then relax down. Lift and relax. So if you're able, so I'm here, just trying to, so I'm lifting up my arch and then relaxing down. I'm lifting my arch and then putting it down. So we're really focusing on strengthening the small muscles in our feet here. You can do both feet together. We'll do a couple more. Or you can do one foot at a time. So for some people, these muscles are hard to engage. So you may find your whole leg wants to come to the party. And you may even be finding that you're squeezing your tush to get your arch to lift. And that's okay. All right. And let's come back to center. Wiggle out our toes. And let's come into a lunge. We're going to lunge forward, lengthen through our leg to get a nice stretch in our calf muscle. As you're lunging here, staying tall through your trunk, really lengthening through that back leg. And from here, what I'm going to have you do is you're just going to unlock your knee and straighten it. Bend that back knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. This is a great way for us to get at, so your calf muscle is made out of two different muscles, your gastroc and your soleus. And so this works on both of them. Let's do one more. And then we'll come back to center. We'll switch sides. So we'll just first come into that lunge stretch, lengthening through your back leg, trying to get your heel down towards the floor as close as you can. Standing tall. So imagining that strength pulling you up. And then you're going to bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. And each time you're straightening, you're working on getting that heel closer to the ground or lengthening through your leg even more. And you may feel some nice stretching in the front part of your hip as you're opening up your hip and lengthening. Let's do two more. And then let's come back to center. And from here, let's work on raising up through our toes. So you can hold onto a chair. You can have your hands at your hips. And so we're going to work on just coming up and then coming down. Up, and when you're coming down, really focusing on controlling that as you're coming down. So imagine there's an egg underneath your feet and you don't want scrambled eggs. And to add in more of a balance challenge, you can float one arm up and bring it down. So by adding in arm motion, that can be something that challenges our balance even more. Let's do one more. All right, and let's float our arms down. Okay, and from here, we did this last week. So we're gonna do our leg circles, but what we're gonna do, rather than going in a circle, is we're gonna do pumps. So we're gonna do 5 pumps forward, 5 pumps to the side, 5 pumps going back. You can hold on to a chair, and we're gonna do that 5 times. So really focus on pulling up through our core. So we'll bring our foot down. You can either have your foot flexed or pointed, whatever feels comfortable to you. Just really trying to make your legs strong. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring it out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back, squeeze your tush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully your standing leg felt like it was working hard. The reason why I'm having us do the bounces is because it throws off our balance a little bit. And so our standing leg has to work that much harder. So now let's switch sides. So you're shifting over, standing tall, bringing your leg forward. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then come back, find center, and you may need to wiggle through your feet or your hips because your feet had to work hard there. All right, we're going to do another round of heel raises. So feeling grounded through our legs, and let's come up and then float it down. So we're going to pop up and then 3 counts to slowly come down. Pop up and come down. And you can add in your arms, so you can reach up and then slowly float down. Pop up and then 1, 2, 3. Pop up. 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 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more. Pop up. 1, 2, 3. One more. Pop up. 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's come back into our lunge, stretch out our calves a little bit. And from here, what we're going to work on coming forward, lunging even more, and then straightening up. We're going to do a couple like that where you lunge forward and then straighten your front knee. Come forward. And if you want to add in arms, you can have arms reaching up towards the ceiling. And we're going to add on. So we're going to do this forward lunge, come up, shift, and side bend. Come back, shift our feet, and shift forward. So if you've done yoga before, the poses that we're doing are a warrior and then a triangle. So we're working on just weight shifting through our feet. So you're coming forward, lunge forward, shift. So now you're facing the side, side bend over. Come forward and up, shift, and side bend over. Come forward, float your arms up. You can lunge forward, straighten, shift. And our goal is that you have targets. So you have a target in front and a target to the side, is that you're working on getting to each of your targets. You're going all the way to the front, you're shifting to the side, doing a big side bend, lengthening through, weight shifting over. And let's do one more. Okay, and then let's switch our legs, because we'll do the opposite side. So you're in that lunge position, coming forward on to this front knee. You can float your arms up, and we can just work on weight shifting, standing into a bend. So I think that's our first step here, is working on just getting into that forward lunge, standing tall. And then from here, you can come forward, up. We're going to shift this. So you're facing the side, legs are straight, side bend over, weight shifting to this forward leg. Come tall, shift, float arms up, and then weight shift forward into that lunge. Stand up tall, shift. So now you're facing the side, side bend over, and come back up. Shift your feet, float your arms, lunge forward and up, shift. So now you're facing the side, side bend, lengthen through the side of your trunk, pull it up, shift your feet, float your arms, lunge forward, up tall, shift your feet, side bend, pull it up and shift, lunge, up tall, shift to the side, side bend over, come back up. Let's do one more. So shift your feet, float your arms, lunge it forward and up tall, shift your feet, side bend over and back up. Float your arms. Good, that looked really good. So we'll keep working on that. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep going with our lunges, and we'll do the face of the clock. So you can have hands on your hips or on a chair. And so let's start going to 12 o'clock. So we forward lunge, 12 o'clock, bring it in. 1 o'clock, bring it in. 2 o'clock, bring it in. 3 o'clock, bring it in. 4 o'clock, bring it in. 5 o'clock, bring it in. 6 o'clock, bring it in. 7 o'clock, bring it in. 8 o'clock, bring it in. 9 o'clock, bring it in. 10 o'clock, bring it in. 11 o'clock, bring it in. 12 o'clock, bring it in. Now we're going counterclockwise. 12 o'clock, bring it in. 1 o'clock, bring it in. 2 o'clock, bring it in. Or, oh my goodness, sorry, we're going counterclockwise. I just messed up on my numbers. We're at 9 o'clock, bring it in. Oh geez, 8 o'clock, bring it in. 7 o'clock, bring it in. 6 o'clock, bring it in. Shift feet. 5 o'clock, bring it in. 4 o'clock, bring it in. 3 o'clock, bring it in. 2 o'clock, bring it in. 1 o'clock, bring it in. Let's do one more time clockwise, counterclockwise. So 12 o'clock, bring it in. 1 o'clock, bring it in. 2 o'clock, bring it in. 3 o'clock, bring it in. 4 o'clock, bring it in. 5 o'clock, bring it in. 6 o'clock, bring it in. Switch feet. 7 o'clock, bring it in. 8 o'clock, bring it in. 9 o'clock, bring it in. 10 o'clock, bring it in. 11 o'clock, bring it in. 12 o'clock, bring it in. Now counterclockwise, so 12 o'clock, bring it in. 11, in. 10, in. 9, in. 8, in. 7, in. 6, switch feet. 5, and in. 4, in. 3, and in. 2, and in. 1, and in. So now I'm going to call out different numbers, and that's going to be the direction that you're lunging. So let's start with 2 o'clock, and in. 7 o'clock, and in. 3 o'clock, and in. 9 o'clock, in. 11 o'clock, in. 6 o'clock, in. 4 o'clock, in. 5 o'clock, in. 7 o'clock, and in. 1 o'clock, and in. 8 o'clock, and in. 3 o'clock, and in. 10 o'clock, and in. 6 o'clock, in. 1 o'clock, in. 8 o'clock, and in. Let's do 5 more. 4 o'clock, and in. 6 o'clock, in. 9 o'clock, in. 7 o'clock, and in. 3 o'clock, and bring it in. All right, so from here, let's work on doing our hip circles. So getting our hips moving. So you're gonna do your hula hoop hips. So we're trying to make this motion as big as you can, feeling some nice stretching through the side parts of our hips. The other thing I want you to focus on is how are you weight shifting through your feet? So hopefully with hula hoop hips, you're finding that just as your hips are going around in this big circle, you're going around the whole perimeter of your feet. Let's go the opposite direction. You all look like you're ready for a hula hoop contest. So, and especially with coming forward. So on these next couple, I want us to really focus on coming forward, as long as that doesn't cause back pain. But that helps open up our hips. It also gets us weight shifting back a little bit. So often we're in the front part of our foot, but it's good for us to practice weight shifting to the back. Now we're going to take our hula hoop hips. We're going to do figure 8 hips. So swooping around. So it's like 2 hula hoops. They're just smaller. So this takes a little bit more coordination. But this helps get at some of the rotator muscles in our hips. Okay. And come back to center. All right, we're going to try a new exercise. And if you are by a wall, that's great, because I'd like us to have a target of a wall and then also like the ceiling. So what we're going to work on is, in class we talk about like taking dishes out of the dishwasher and putting them up. So this is going to be that same motion, but just with one hand. So you're reaching down here, you're going to weight shift and then reach up towards the wall or the ceiling with a big hand, and then pull it down, and then weight shift big with a big hand, opening up through our trunk, weight shift and up, weight shift, really open up your reaching, weight shift up. You may feel some nice stretching through the front part of your trunk. So this is working on that lunge, just in a more sideways direction, and then also really working on extending through our trunk. All right, let's switch sides. So if you're by a wall, you're just going to turn. I won't turn so you can still see me, but you can turn around, and you're going to do that reach down like you're picking something up, and then weight shift, and it's like you're throwing it up into the sky. Bring it down, and then weight shift, focusing on that big hand. Bring it down. Throw it and reach it down. Throw it. Reach it down. Throw it. Open up through our trunk. You can even follow where your hand is going with your head, which will help open up your trunk that much more. Let's do a couple more. So really throw it up into the sky. All right, and float your arm down. We're going to try a new one today. And so we worked on just weight shifting with our arms side to side. This is going to be more forward and back. So we're going to reach down, do a forward fold. You can do it with a chair, or you can do it without a chair, reaching as far as you can down. We're going to squeeze our tush, and then arms are going to come back wide open, and then you're going to reach it down, squeeze, and open. Reach it down, and squeeze and open. Reach it down so you're weight shifting forward through your feet, getting a nice stretch in your hamstrings. Squeeze your tush open up through your chest. So you're weight shifting back a little bit. Weight shift forward, dive down, and then come up. Weight shift down towards your toes, stretch through your legs, stretch through your low back, and then pull up to stand, opening up through your chest. Let's do 3 more. And then pull it up. 2 more. And pull it up. Let's do 1 more. And up. Relax your arms. Okay. Next, we're still going to use our chair. But what we're going to do is have a foot on the rung of a chair. If you're using your chair for balance, you're just going to flip it around like this. So that way this you can use the top part of the chair for balance. So you're going to have 1 foot on the rung. So we're going to work on just stabilizing here. So if you're holding on, try to go from whole hand to fingertips, to maybe 1 fingertip on each hand, to floating. And then if you feel comfortable, no hands. So what this does, having 1 foot elevated, is it throws off your balance just like tandem stance, like walking on a tightrope stance. What we're going to work on here, if you're holding on to the chair, you're going to hold on with 1 hand. You're going to open your hand, you're reaching forward, and we're going to open up through our trunk and then come back. And open. So we're working on rotating through our trunk, getting some nice stretching. We're working on our balance here. And as you go through this, and hopefully are feeling a little bit more stable on that standing leg, you can decrease maybe from a whole hand to just fingertips. Or from fingertips to just hovering. Let's do 1 more, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, and so you can hold on to the chair. You may shake your hips out a little, give it a little shoulder, hip shimmy, and then put your other foot on, and let's just get our balance here. And it may feel different one side to the other. And so as you're here, you know how I talk about that string pulling you up. So that's what that string is doing. And then when you feel ready, you're going to reach your arm forward with a big hand. And then you're going to open and then come back. Open, come back. So you're getting some nice rotation through your trunk, getting some nice rotation through your hips. You're activating the small muscles in your ankle. So it's like a 3 or 4 for 1. As you're doing this, I want you to check in with your trunk. So sometimes when our balance gets challenged, our natural tendency is to round. I want us to really extend up. And so if you need a finger or 2 for support, That is okay. Let's do 2 more. And from here, you can float your legs down, you can shake out your hips. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a foot tap on that rung. So you can either use the rung, or if you'd like an extra challenge, you can use the seat of the chair. Whatever feels comfortable for you and safe. As you're putting your foot up and bringing it down, I want us to do it with control. So imagine that there's an egg, and we don't want to just squash our egg. We want to gently place our foot. And we're standing tall. We're engaging our leg that we're standing on, engaging our glutes. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more on each side. And then let's come back to center. As promised, let's do a little work with our tennis ball. So we're going to work on our drop and catch. If you can, alternate the hand that you're tossing with, because that naturally will give you a weight shift. Let's work on increasing the speed. And now let's slow it down. So as we're slowing it down, let's do an even bigger reach up and drop. So if the ball has a mind of its own and is doing its own thing, as you're chasing after the ball, I want those to be big steps. So I want you to stand tall. You're walking with purpose to go pick it up. Let's try quick again. Let's do 5 more catches. All right, you can set your tennis ball off to the side. All right, and from here, let's grab a seat in our chair. So the first thing we'll do, let's stretch out our quad muscle. So a way you can do that in sitting is coming to the side of your chair, dropping one leg, knee down, and then you can tuck your toes under on the ground. And then you can even slide that leg back a little bit. So that way you're feeling a nice stretch in the front part of your quad muscle. As you're doing this, you're sitting up nice and tall. You can also get at some stretching at the front part of your hip. And if you feel like you're not getting a great stretch, you can always work on tucking your pelvis under a little bit. And let's come to center. And let's switch legs. So dropping your one knee down, tucking your foot. So feeling a nice stretch in the front part of your quad. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, you can bring your leg back, and you can also work on tucking your pelvis under. And let's bring it to center. And if this feels comfortable, bring your leg up, cross it over. Gives a nice stretch to our hip. Opening up our hip. You can also lean forward. And then if this feels comfortable, holding on to the top part of your foot and giving a nice pull, opening up through the top part of our foot. And if it feels comfortable, you can even add in like a side-to-side motion here. And then when you're ready, you can pull your toes up to give a nice stretch to your arch. Your arch worked hard today. And let's switch legs. So bringing your leg up, opening up through our hip, and then leaning forward if that feels comfortable to you. And then you can give a nice pull to the top part of your foot to help open up the front of your ankle. And then you can even add in a side-to-side motion. And then if it feels comfortable, give a pull, lifting your toes up, which helps stretch out your arch. And then let's drop our foot down, ground our feet, and let's finish with a couple nice deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in, lift our arms up, opening up through our chest, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out, breathe in, and out. Let's do two more. Breathe in, and out. One more. Breathe in, and out. Nice job, everyone. Good job.